Hey guys, so in this video, I'm going to go over how to start your own MVP agency and get your first client. Right now, there are people making 10, 30, even 100, over $100,000 per month, just vibe coding applications with AI for other people and selling it as a service, right? I've got a collection here of just a couple examples to get your gears turning on what's possible. Cream AI, these guys, they're doing currently about $200,000 per month. The owner of that is this Jacob guy. He posts on X. And yeah, as you can see, this guy's doing $200,000 a month. If you want to read more about like what he's doing, you can I have the document link in the description. You can take a look after the video. There's also some smaller ones like Astro MVP, which are doing about like $32,000 a month, which again, Twitter is linked in the description. There's also Zeus Labs, also like a smaller one. I think this guy just started. Basic website. Just turn your ideas into MVP in 2 to 3 weeks. Super simple. It goes straight to a payment page right here for $3,000 and a book a call. Right. Again, everything's on Twitter. They're posting live what they're doing, how they're getting clients. Yeah, these guys are 9.6K. Again, very, very simple website, simple idea. And so the reason this works is because MVPs don't have to be perfect. They just have to be good enough to showcase how the app works and the key functionality of what it delivers. It doesn't matter if the backend is like duct taped together and it's not optimized for millions of users or anything of the sort. It all has to do is be good enough to validate the idea. And in the past, the type of MVP work would still require a developer or an agency, 20 or 40 grand investment, and you have to wait like 3 or 4 months to see anything come off the ground. And now you can come into the market and replace all of that with about $5,000 and 2 weeks of your time. I mean, it's a pretty simple value proposition of why this would work, I think. So yeah, hopefully that got your gears turning a little bit on what this opportunity is and how it works and why it works. But one thing I want you to keep in mind about agencies in general, doesn't matter if it's MVP or anything else, is that they're not magical. They don't just print money because, it's a new trend and everybody gets easy money. At the end of the day, agencies you're just providing a service to a client. That's all you're doing. You're finding clients who want startups and you're providing MVP creation for them. That's it. Same with social media marketing. People need clients and leads. You service that and deliver that to some clients. Again, it's not magic. That's why, don't treat it as some kind of trend. Treat it like a real business. But right now is a good opportunity to get into it. That's all it is. But yeah, to get into it, the key things you do want to have as a skill is the ability to actually create an MVP. That's number one. Or you can partner with somebody who can do it if you just want to do the marketing side. And two, getting clients, right? So these are the 2 things you need. And I'll go over the both things in this video. And so yeah, to get started actually learning how to build these MVPs, the main thing you want to learn how to use are these AI code editors, or these AIs that will program apps for you. There's a couple of them out there. I've got Lovable, Cursor AI, and Windsurf and Claude in here, but new ones are popping up every day. If this video is like a month old, there's probably already going to be like 20 other ones. Right? If you never used it, I'll give you a quick demo of Lovable. You open it up, sign up. Here's a MVP somebody else built a while ago. This, for example, is an MVP for a Airbnb type of website, but for medical clinics, where you can just search by different orthopedic, different doctor types or whatever. You can click on a doctor, you can make an inquiry to them, you can book a consultation, you can change languages, you can search, you can sign in, sign up, very basic functionality. And all of this was made with just text, just prompts, right? Not a single line of code was written. You can read the code if you want. But again, everything was just done with just telling it, do this, do that. If there's an error, fix the error, basic stuff. There's no rocket science here. And so the magic of selling this as a service, of creating these MVPs, is that with the help of AI, it's become very, very easy to actually get this done. Because whatever the idea is, you just plan it out and have AI give you a structure of what needs to be done, and then you just bring it over to one of these code editors, and then step by step you finish it up, right? You just prompt it and it'll build it for you basically. Now, if you've never built any of any prototypes or any small micro SaaS companies or anything else, then start off just doing it for yourself to get, number one, your skill up, and number two, your portfolio up of just example stuff you've built. I would strike cloning some bigger apps like Airbnb, Notion, Typeform, Featurebase right? Pick like a core functionality of some app and just try to recreate it with AI. See if you can do it. And that'll turn up your skills. You actually know that you can provide the service you're selling. That's pretty obvious. And two, they'll build up your portfolio, right? So once you do land a potential client, you can showcase all the different apps you've built, and you can show your skill to them. To get started with that, I also made a little guide video here on my channel before, so be sure to watch that if you need extra help. But it is pretty simple. So yeah, step 2, actually building your MVP agency. And again, try to go through this as quickly as possible. Really don't spend too much time about this, because none of these steps are that important. The only step that's actually important is getting clients and getting paid, right? Everything else, just speedrun, right? Choose a name, choose a random word plus MVP or plus agency at the end of it. And like Luna MVP, Flow MVP, Swift MVP, MVP Full, MVP Labs, whatever, right? I also included a couple like business name generators here, which are pretty good. Just type in, and then just like that, you've got a couple brand ideas that you can just copy here. Again, just pick one, doesn't matter which one. This is not super duper important in my opinion. Then step 2, build your website, and I would just recommend getting a template off of Framer or Webflow. Again, don't choose something complicated with lots of pages. Choose something super simple, like one page, that you can just come in and just edit it up and make it look nice and fancy. Something like this. Put a headline here of "We built your MVP in 2 weeks." Add a couple case studies of like some other apps you've built, so you can showcase that. Then add reviews if you have some, and then just have your pricing page here with all the things you do, and then a book a call. Very, very simple. Again, nothing complicated. Again, scroll back up and just use these guys as inspiration of how you want to build your thing out, and you'll be fine. Get a domain off Namecheap. Again, simple. Get that, link it to the website. Get that live as quick as possible, and you'll be fine. Step 3, get your profile set up on like all the important social medias if you don't already have some, on like LinkedIn or X or Facebook or Upwork or whatever you decide to get clients. And step 4 is setting the pricing. And for this, I would really recommend just keeping it as simple as possible, not having any like hidden pricing with the book to call, and then you want to pitch them on this, try to guess how much they're able to pay, and try to min-max it, and too much work, just extra hassle. Keep it simple. I think the people in this space, like in SaaS and tech and startups in general, just appreciate somebody who can be super direct and super simple and doesn't try to hide things. And yeah, the price ranges though, I would keep it on like 1 to 2K is for anything like super basic of just websites, pages, forms, some kind of like just designs basically. If they maybe have like a Figma design ready and they need to port that over to a working website state, you can do that. Simple, just screenshots. Tell AI to, hey, copy this design into a functional website, and that's like 90% of the work done. Simple stuff. Then like the real MVP range, I would say that's between like 2 and 5K. And this is where all the like actual app functionality, user authentication, backend, anything else more special and like something that needs to work for like the core of the app to be functional, or to be able to like demonstrate the core functionality. That's where that would fall into. Anything beyond that of like 5, 10,000, anything beyond, I would really expect here the client's going to have like much higher expectations of you. So I would not jump into that if you're not familiar with like code and be able to go into the actual code itself and debug it and start using cursor AI and not just rely on AI itself to do all the work, because you're gonna have to actually make it secure and actually give it some like meat on the bones. But yeah, those are just my general ideas. Obviously, you can change it, flip it, do whatever you want with it. You can. I personally, I suggest though just copying what everybody else is doing. It's working right now, and you can make changes as you get more clients and you find out what are their needs and wants. And yeah, with all of that, that's basically your agency finished. It was pretty simple. Again, don't take too long. I didn't show you how to pick a template and then show you how to set up a domain. Like I trust that you are smart enough to figure this out, right? Because if you can't figure out how to link a domain, then I'm sorry, bro, you got bigger worries. You got bigger problems to worry about. Okay. But if you are ever confused about something super basic, just ask AI. It'll explain to you. And then finally, section 3. Getting clients. This is sort of like, the sauce and lifeblood of the video, which surprisingly a lot of people skip, of actually getting, clients and getting them to, number one, like transfer the money in their bank balance over to yours so you can start working on things, you'd be surprised how difficult that can be. And again, like with getting clients, each one of these sections can be a full-on like 6, 12, even like 20-hour course. I'm pretty sure you can make a fucking college lecture about cold emails and ads and self, right? So I can't cover it in this video, but I'll give you the key cliff notes and what you want to do. And after that, I'm gonna trust that you are, number one, just smart enough to figure out most of it by yourself, and you're smart enough to, you know, educate yourself further on what you want to pursue, right? But if you are ever confused, leave a comment. I am planning to making more videos, and if you ever want to work with me one-on-one to like teach you something, whatever, then just reach out to me, and I'm sure we can make that happen. But yeah, option number one, which is sort of like the easiest one, is just going to places where there's already clients asking you to build the thing for them, right? Which, you know, includes Upwork, Freelancer, Fiverr, you know, any of these like job listing platforms. You can Google them. There's like 10,000 of them, but these are the most popular. Obviously, the pros of them is that, you know, you have clients just ready to give you money. As long as you can convince them that you are the person for the job, you will get their money. It's, you know, it's that simple. But the cons obviously is it's very competitive. These places are filled to the brim with like Indians and Nigerian agencies just mass spamming every application. So it's difficult to stand out and actually get noticed. And obviously, con number two is that most of the clients on these platforms are lower quality, right? Because they're not searching for like a premium agency or somebody branded in the space. They're going with just, you know, the cheapest option usually. But you can still find gems in the rough. Now, I've collected a few examples of people already doing like this sort of, doing basically what we're doing here, not exactly the same, simply because like using AI to make these MVPs has only become like a trend or like a thing only like, I think 2 or 3 weeks ago. People sort of started like actively posting about it. But people have been on Upwork doing this stuff for, you know, months or years already, because there's always going to be people, holy shit. Yeah, this guy made $500,000 in total earnings. When I was writing the script like yesterday, he was at 400, right? So trust me, these people are making money, right? This guy getting $7,000 jobs, right? This guy made $200,000. Let's take a look. Yeah, imagine. Also, again, maybe some of these jobs are obviously smaller, 18,000. This is kind of more high-level position. But as you can see, people are making money with these platforms. Obviously, if you're brand new, it's going to be a bit difficult for you to stand out. I do have a hack on this. I'll get into it in a second. But yeah, $100,000 in total earnings. Let's see, this one made, I'm pretty sure this is like a newer profile. It's just some girl from Poland, and she made 30K already with just UI, UX design. Again, this is stuff you can ask AI to make for you. Very simple. I also wanted to show off some Fiverr earnings. I'd say Fiverr is worse than Upwork, because with Fiverr you have to make a gig and wait for people to come to you, versus on Upwork you already have clients just to, you know, kind of spam them and convince them to hire you specifically. But yeah, this guy is like easy code. He's 18 reviews here. Yeah, most people probably go for this like standard thing for 50 hours. And that's like 2,000 euros, 2,000 euros times 18. You know, you do the math. Simple stuff. Also another one here. Also pretty new order in queue. Minimum order is 1.8K. He already has 2 clients right here. So simple stuff. As you can see, it works. People are looking for it. There's demand for this service. And now there's new technology which lets you gives you an edge basically. It gives you an edge to outcompete everybody else. So yeah, my main advice on actually landing jobs on these platforms is that you want to stand out as much as you can. And you don't want to stand out on price, because you're not going to win on price, right? These places are filled to the brim with Indian and Nigerian agencies which have, you know, hundreds of employees who just spam apply to every single job listing, right? And though that is their advantage on scale, and if you can't match that scale, then obviously go for it. But the likelihood is that you can't. And so in that case, you want to compete on quality, right? Every single job you apply for, you want to hyper-personalize the application to them. And the way I do it, I recommend it, is to record a Loom video of you just reading back the prospect's job listing, and then talk to them like directly on video inside the Loom of how you're going to fix their problem. What are you going to do? What tools are you going to build? How are you going to do it? You can also use AI to like make up a quick mock-up or make up a quick design. You can use Claude to like you can also ask AI to just write out your entire game plan of what you're going to do and how you're going to do it. And, you know, turn that into like a document, a showcase to that, show it off to the client. And with just that, and as long as you apply, you're like one of the first to apply, so just keep your tabs open on it pretty often, just refresh. As long as you're one of the first, it's guaranteed that your client's gonna watch the Loom. And number two is that you're gonna stand out compared to everybody else, basically, right? And making you the obvious choice. Like if you get a templated a nonsense response, which means nothing except I'm this and that, I'm the best option, please hire me, hire me, hire me, versus hey, I've read your job description, I like it, here's what I would do, this is how I would do it, here's a mock-up design I made, here is a text, plan of action I'm gonna do, boom, 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 and that's gonna blow them away. Very simple. And yeah, and as long as you just stick to a schedule and you just max out whatever your allowed apply limit is, you will get jobs. It is literally inevitable that you will land a job doing this. It's impossible for you not to, right? So yeah, do this. You can easily get your first few clients for this method. Now, channel 2 for client acquisition is building a brand, right? Building like a personal brand. Not something huge, but just being a small creator within the whole ecosystem of SaaS and AI and coding and all these communities on X and on YouTube. And if you're posting what you're working on, giving opinions on the latest news, sharing what you built, creating free templates, guides, etc., you will naturally just grow a small following, right? It's the same thing I'm doing right now. I'm providing you free value, so you subscribe, you respect me, I get a bit more value, and then I can build up my marketing agency for SaaS companies, which is my goal. And by doing that, you will naturally start attracting people who are, maybe also interested in this, but they don't want to build it themselves, right? They're aware of the technology, they know it's possible, but maybe they already run their business, or maybe they just have some idea in the back of their head that they want to do something. And if they trust you, they like what you post, they like what you do, they'll easily naturally just reach out, say, hey, I see, you're open to work. I have this and this idea. Can you do it? You say yes, boom, boom, sign a contract, and you're off to work. You've got your client. And with these methods, you can very naturally pitch them without trying to be some kind of hard sales guy. You don't have to have already any skill. You just showcase cool stuff that you built, and people naturally just come to you because you're cool. So yeah, the pros of this method are, you become an authority in the space, giving you social proof and making it very easy to sell. The clients come to you very often. You don't have to tire yourself out searching out clients and finding the next lead. And it's very easy to close all your clients because they already know you. They already know you, they trust you, they follow you. They've probably consumed a lot of your content already. It's going to be a very easy close. And obviously the cons of that is that it's going to take time, right? If you don't know how to make templates yet, if you don't know how to write tweets, if you don't know how to make videos, it's got all of these are extra skills that you have to learn on top of it before you're able to sign the client, right? So it's going to be time consuming. It's going to take, a month or two to learn this stuff. But the good thing is, again, you have AI, you have YouTube, you have Google. You can learn all of this within the matter of a few weeks to a month, right? And lastly, you have to be consistent. You're not going to have any success with this if you just do it randomly once per week or something. You have to be consistent day in, day out, have a general plan of what you're going to do, how you're going to do it, and just stick to it. So yeah, besides the top 3 ones I showed before, I found a couple other guys, like this Gabriel guy who runs Manta, I think. And these guys are doing $30,000 a month right now. Yeah, this guy's booked 5 calls in 2 weeks, and I think his pricing is, let's check here. And yeah, let's check his pricing. Yeah, it's $6,000 per package, per MVP. And again, really nice website, super simple, nothing fancy, right? Totally white, simple headline, telling them exactly what they do. Call to action to book a call. And then just examples. This is a perfect, honestly, setup for a website. I recommend you guys study this. Simple examples of what you can do, and a little bit of info, pricing, get started, book a call. Super simple, guys. Nothing difficult here. And again, if you're interested, you can follow all these guys. There's plenty more. You can find them on X or on Twitter. All of these guys share exactly what they do. If you have any questions, I'm sure you can just also message them the same way you can message me. It's all public, nobody's keeping secrets from you. Another guy, this Manoj, I'm sorry, I'm butchering your name, bro. But another guy, this guy posted all his side projects, and this guy made $125,000 with his MVP agency, which I'm pretty sure was majority of his income in 2023. And these are all his other SaaS, micro SaaS apps that he's built, which earn nothing, right, compared to the MVP agency. So this model literally does work. And he runs Unique Slide. Let's take a look at it. Again, super simple website, launch your product in just 15 days. Super simple, a little bit testimonial, social proof, some examples of work he's done, testimonials, again, work, case studies, and then pricing. Super simple. Don't overcomplicate this. And just like all the other guys, he shares everything he's doing out in public. Yeah, and then we have this other guy called Devansh who runs Moon MVP, and he's doing $2,000 a month already. And I'm pretty sure he just recently started it, I think. I'm not sure. But yeah, this just goes to prove that, you know, plenty of people doing this, plenty of people making money with this. This only really started getting like traction on X within like the small like SaaS communities there a few weeks ago. So very few people are actually offering the service. So use this chance as, you know, get in early basically. But yeah, these two methods of just building your own personal brand online, on social media, and then applying to jobs on these job boards, I would say this is like your best bet if you're not really sure what you're doing and you just want to get into it. And personal brand is just will always be good for you, right? No matter what. So I really recommend starting with this. But if you have a little more experience, you have a little more money to invest to throw at this, and you want to get the ball start rolling better, I really recommend paid acquisition channels, you know, like cold outreach and advertising. Those are the main ones. Because paid media is predictable, right? It's scalable and predictable. You just have to crack the formula of what the right offer is. And as long as you can get $2 back for every $1 you put in, you've just created a free ATM machine that spits out money. You know, you just dump as much money as you can and you double it. That's how I've done it with ecom. That's how other people do it with agencies. Paid media is great, right? But cracking that system, that formula, that math equation is quite complicated if you have no idea what you're doing. So I'll keep this brief. Both of these sections can be a fucking college lecture, I think, that I can make on this. But outreach is like the lifeblood of most agencies outside of just referrals. And that includes cold calling, cold emailing, cold messaging. The costs here are just to get everything set up. You need tools such as speed dialing, email inboxes, automation software, and a lot of other things. You need to also be able to scrape good data sources for a lot of high quality leads, and you need to be able to hyper personalize them, and you need to be sending them at bulk, right? The real secret to cold outreach is scale. If you're gonna be messaging like 10 people per day, you're not going anywhere. You're gonna earn fuck all, right? But if you do 10,000 people a day, then guess what? You're gonna be getting book calls and you're gonna be making money, right? But getting to that scale is quite difficult and expensive. And with paid advertising, it's a little bit different, but main cost is being able to set up all these ad channels correctly without getting banned or restricted, even though you might not do anything bad on them. They are quite strict with their policies, and if you don't do it correctly, it's going to be difficult to get number one, set up running. And then number two, the strategies of how you should set up campaigns. Again, not as difficult, but take some time. And number three is obviously just the investment cost. You need to be able to invest X amount of money to pay to acquire the customer. So if your offer costs like $5,000, it might cost you $1,000 to acquire the customer. You would have to spend $1,000 on Google or Meta ads to actually get the book calls and close the client and acquire it, right? So that will be investment. But if you're going to do it, the cliff notes for Google, I would set up a search campaign for keywords related to MVP, startups, entrepreneurship, stuff, things like that. Ads running, you get people to, visit your website, read through it, book a call with you, you hop on a call, you close them, and you get paid. Simple stuff. There's a lot more nuance in between here, but that's kind of like the basics of it. And with Meta ads, kind of the same thing, but you're gonna have to get good at like actually recording advertisements. You need to be able to make good ads, make a good landing page, make good VSLs, be able to talk to your ideal customer profile and pitch your services directly. And then from there, you want to funnel them into a book a call. Again, get them a call, close them, get paid, keep running ads, and increase from there. Again, way more nuance there. In between here, this kind of like a two-step guide. But that should kind of give you the idea what you want to do. You can obviously do more research, but I think that covers most of it. If you have questions, just, leave a comment. So, and with that, number 4 is who do you sell for exactly, right? Because besides the first acquisition channel, the job boards, where, you just try to pitch your services at whatever clients you could possibly get, to make any of the other ones work, you're going to have to be able to niche down and understand your ICP and who you're talking to when you want to sell. And when you're getting started, it's kind of a little bit difficult to really understand what that means if you never sold anything before. That's why I still think the job boards are the best just place to start. So you can just throw everything on the wall. You can see what type of clients respond, what type of clients don't respond, who you like working with, who you don't like working with. And that should kind of taper your mind to who you want to go after, basically, right? But beyond that, you want to build your personal brand, or you want to run ads, or anything else you want to do, you're going to have to be able to understand who exactly you're selling to and how you want to speak to them, right? The key thing you want to remember in this whole idea is that you can't frame your prospect around the offer. You have to frame the offer around the prospect, right? If you try to sell MVP development services, right, to dental clinics that you scraped off of Google or something, you're just not going to close clients, right? It doesn't make sense. Like, they don't need this. They don't understand it. They don't need it. But if you frame it as you are building custom CRM tools for dental clinics, then all of a sudden, you can have some movement there. Obviously, I still think that's a pretty bad niche for this whole, for the service, but hopefully you understand kind of the logic I'm trying to convey here. And so in our case, the customer I would go after, like start go after, is just non-technical founders, people who are non-technical and want to have some kind of startup, some kind of company, whatever. And where do those people hang out? And those people hang out in online communities, forums, events, Twitter, X, etc. And so to find those communities, just use a little bit of basic brain thought and use Google a little bit, and you can easily find them. On Twitter or on X, any of the tech, AI, SaaS, they have their own little bubbles. There's like one key celebrity, for example, I don't know, Peter Levels. Go find him, go through all his followers, follow some of the big guys, all accounts, start interacting with them, and suddenly you'll be inside the whole tech, AI, SaaS sphere of X. Beyond that, you got forums such as, Hacker News or Indie Hackers. And again, that's, maybe not the perfect ideal place, but it is a place with customers who are interested in tech. Start posting, being active. And again, start posting not just for the sake of selling, start posting for the sake of being part of the community and growing your personal brand image, basically. Be able to have people recognize you. So other people trust you, people can vouch for you, people know who you are, and that's going to make it very easy for you to close clients. Beyond that, also Facebook groups, LinkedIn groups, Discord servers, Slack channels. There's plenty of different communities where people hang out in, where you can be part of it, build up your name, build up your credibility, and close clients through that. Also, subreddits on Reddit like SaaS, entrepreneur, startups, growth hacking, indie hackers, etc. There's plenty more. You can do your research, just basic keywords. This is not rocket science, guys. And if you are ever lost, just use Google, ask AI to give you more ideas. On all these platforms, just start using keywords like SaaS idea, co-founder, MVP, hiring, etc. And you'll quickly be able to find other people who are either struggling to build some kind of app or need help, need assistance, or just have an idea and are looking for somebody to help them with. And you can make this all work very naturally. But yeah, that's just one angle, right? You don't have to limit yourself to just this. For example, a couple other ideas I had is that, for example, agencies. Right now there's a huge trend on AI automation agencies, where people build automations for like local businesses or even digital businesses with Make.com or N8N. And these people already have customers. They're already, have paying customers, and they're building automations in these like kind of technical software, basically, of reports, data entry, creating contracts, some kind of like support fulfillment, these types of things. And it's all very technical, right? It's still all inside of these dashboards. You could potentially offer them, hey, what if I turn this like N8N or Make.com automation into something that has a front end? You'll build the front end, you connect the backend for this Make.com, and you'll connect the backend of these automations into a front end that they can then showcase to their clients and make it much easier to service them, right? That's one idea. Another idea I had is, because I come from an e-commerce background, all of my friends who do e-commerce, we all have some kind of idea or a bug or a need for some kind of tool that just doesn't exist. Everything's random. Maybe it's got something to do with fulfillment, or something to do with support or tickets, or something to do with like some specific upsell not working, or, plenty of other things. You can start reaching out to these other digital businesses and business owners and seeing if you can like somehow find a solution or pain point for them that you can solve. That, maybe they don't need like an official, big name app, or maybe they're already paying for a different app that you can rebuild specific to them and make it custom for them for a way cheaper price. A lot of these apps are insanely expensive. They're paying like monthly subscriptions for them, and you can instead have a one-time payment. You build out this MVP, which is just good enough, like does the main functionality that you need there from an app, and they just pay you one time, and they're happy, you're happy, everybody's satisfied, right? So there's a lot of different angles you can approach this from. Don't like limit yourself to just a single idea of like just posting on Reddit or something. Really think outside the box, try to think outside the box. But yeah, hopefully that got your gears turning a little bit more. Maybe you got some ideas from all of this. But again, I just came up with this on the spot as I was writing the script. There's probably plenty more of things and ideas on niches and people that I just haven't thought of yet that you can service. You can be the first one to service them. Section 5, closing your client. This is just in case if you've never had a client before, if you've never closed anybody. You want to really make sure everything is in tip-top, text, written out text of what you have to do, how you want to do it, when you want to do it, how much for you're going to do it. You've got it all written down. Both of you and your client understand it. You both agree on it. You both sign the contract for it, and you're both happy, right? Because if you don't do that, then later on it's going to be issues of, I thought this, I thought that. You didn't do this, I thought I had to do that, and it's going to be back and forth, and nobody wants to do that, right? So things I recommend is getting some kind of recording software. I recommend Fireflies, which basically just kind of joins in your meeting and records it and takes notes as you are doing the meeting. There are other ones, but you can also just screen record it and just upload it to Grok or Cloud or ChatGPT, whatever, and just ask it to give you a summary of transcript. In the actual call, you want to ask your client some very key important questions about how the project is going to look like and what the timeline is going to be. Included a template for you here of just some basic questions. Obviously, you can mix and match this as you want and how you see fit. You can also just ask AI to come up with better ideas for questions. But the general idea is just what the app is, how it works, who is it for, how it's going to look like, what the timeline is, what are you going to do, what are your main deliverables, what are the key functionalities of the app, etc., etc. And you want all this to be very black and white so that there are no questions or miscommunications or anything else. And once you are done with the interview, then you want to get the notes from Fireflies or ChatGPT, whatever you got the notes from. Make a summary of what the job is exactly, what you're going to do, how you're going to do it for, what the payments are going to look like. And once you both agree, you both sign the contract, you can get to work and you can start building the MVP. A few key things to remember in this is to just keep it simple. Don't let them add too many extra stuff. And also, don't be too lenient on yeah, I can do it. Don't be a yes man. Don't say yes to everything and every idea. Keep it realistic. If you ever confuse anything, ask them to confirm everything. Because there's so many issues I've had with other partners or clients, whatever, where there's just miscommunication and that just kind of fucks something up. So make sure not to do this mistake. And yeah, and with that, I think that covers basically everything you need to know about building your MVP agency. Right? If you have any questions, I have the document link in the description below, so be sure to read through it if you want to see all the links, the tutorial videos, any of the links to the guides or resources for tools. It's all linked there. If you also need any advice, be sure to leave a comment. And lastly, if you want to join my community, I've built a small community of just other founders, people working on SaaS companies or also on agencies, anything else, and we all just share stuff, what you're working on, and that's going to be linked in the description below, so be sure to join that. But besides that, hopefully you got some value out of this. And if you want to learn how to start using AI to build your first application, click the video that's on your screen right now. And I'll see you guys in the next one.